Hi. So today we are going to paint and assemble this fun little Christmas polar bear.
Yeah, I love him.
He's pretty fun. So this is my friend's idea, and we thought we would make a polar bear for this year. So he's got his little Santa hat, and these florals are optional. So if you don't like doing the florals, you can take those off. So this is him without his little florals. I just really like these florals.
I do too.
Yeah.
But he'd be cute without him as well.
There's a little snowflake, and then we have our little holly sprig, and then we have our florals, and we're gonna paint those together. So I'm just gonna go over here and set those aside. And then we have his little hat. And if you notice that when you put him together, his little hat, there's like extra room around his hat, and you're gonna paint that part black. So there's just kind of like a little outline around his hat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this all apart.
Gives it more dimension.
And there's his little nose.
Cute nose.
I'm just gonna put his nose, and then his little face. And what you have to do here, you have to make sure you score this so you know where to place his little nose. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it's just helpful for where to place his little mouth and nose. I just find it very helpful to have that. But if you don't want to, you can skip that step. And then we're gonna take this apart, and you're gonna notice he has his little eyes that are set to cut. You can set that to score if you want, but you'll have to make sure you change that in your design software. So I'm gonna take his little ear piece out and his little eyes. So there's his head, and then we have his little scarf, and that just layers, and that butts right up against his face. I think I'm gonna do his scarf red. I think that would look really cute.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's his little body. There you go. So for this part, you really don't have to worry about painting the whole thing. You really only have to make sure that you only paint these parts that show for that back layer. So we're gonna go ahead and start with that piece. And I am going to paint this in the shade Milk Jug, because I don't want it to be pure white. So I'm gonna do Milk Jug, and that's Folk Art chalk paint. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. There we go.
And this part won't take much time.
So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab enough paint. And like I said in other videos, this shade tends to require more than one coat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just get enough on here, but I'm going to come back and get more paint on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that on here. This is his little tail. He's got like a little nubby tail.
I love his tail.
Me too. There we are. And these are just brushes from Michael's, nothing exciting. There we are. And what I love about chalk paint is how fast it dries.
Yeah.
It dries very fast. This file also comes with the kickstand stands that go on the back. And if you don't want to use it for a shelf sitter, you can also use this on a round sign. So you can do lots of different things with this file.
Very true.
Okay, so I'm gonna just set this over here to dry. There we go. And we'll come back to that. And we're gonna do this next layer here. Such a nice day. Nice to just be sitting outside today.
Perfect
Gorgeous
fall day.
Oh, it is, but it's like 70 out.
I know.
It's beautiful. It's just so nice. I love sitting outside.
Me too.
Not really thinking about Christmas right now, but
But we gotta get started.
never too early to start Christmas.
True, true.
I started Christmas last year for, I think it was for 2023. I started in, I want to say it was March.
March?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know. I started my my 50 states ornaments in March because they took a long time to
a
draw.
lot of states.
Yeah, to draw 50 states. It took a while. So actually, I don't think I have to really do anything for his head because we're gonna be gluing his head over that. So
Oh, right. It'll be covered.
yeah, it's be covered. So we're kind of skip right on through there.
Just
This
get his
is,
pants on there.
yeah, get his little arms,
Yeah.
his little front legs here. And this is just the worst coverage, this paint, I tell you. I just don't like this. But it's the best shade I had for a polar bear. I just thought this was such a great shade. Otherwise, I don't.
It's a really good color. You just
It
have
is.
to do it a few times. But
Yeah, you just have
all
to
right.
work through it.
But it dries so fast, it's not a
It
big
does
deal.
dry fast. It dries very quickly. So, okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna paint his face next.
It's a cute
Here we
little
are,
face.
his face. There we are. And just make sure you can still kind of see your score lines, so you can see where you're going to be gluing that that little mouth and nose.
Yeah,
And I don't want to get any paint inside his eye holes.
true.
I'm gonna try not to. I always do. All right. I'm just gonna keep working my way towards the edges so I don't get any paint on the edges. Okay. And you definitely are going to need more than one coat, as you can see. Get his little ear. I feel like we're gonna need to paint his ear, the inside of his ear a different color, like maybe like a light brown.
A light brown?
Yeah, I think this color here, this putty color,
Okay. That
Yeah.
can work.
I think that would look nice. Just so it gives like a different shade, so it pops. You don't actually have to put that extra piece in there if you want to leave it just blank and then paint underneath. You can do that. It's really,
that's an idea, yeah.
You can just leave it like it's kind of vacant. We might just do that. What do you think?
That might work out nicely, I think.
I think so too. I think I might just do that. I'm just going to paint the bottom layer so it kind of gives like that extra dimension. Okay. I don't want to keep painting over this while it's still wet. I'm going to let it dry. All right.
Well, I know you have to keep coming back with extra coats, but while other stuff is drying, it gives you something to do.
Yep. I just want to make sure I even it out and I don't have any streaks, because you just don't want it to streak.
No.
There we go. You don't want any brush strokes or anything. All right. So I'm just going to let that dry. And I'm going to come back now to his body and give it another coat, because that is dry now.
And that was very quick.
Yes.
It really does dry quickly.
It does dry quickly. There we are. This might even need a third coat. You can see how streaky this is. There's the neighbor kid again.
Yep.
I think he's gonna make it in every one of my videos, because you just can't avoid it.
Well, he does it all day, every day. It's hard to avoid it.
Yep. I think he's like 10 or 12.
I think he needs a new hobby, is what I think.
Seriously.
How about something quiet like knitting?
I don't know about if a young lad would really want to do that.
Probably not, but anything quieter than that would be great.
Oh, yeah, one can only hope. Oh boy. Alrighty. So I'm gonna let this coat now dry. And I am going to dry brush over this. There we are. Okay. There we are. So this one is now dry. And what I am going to do is I am going to paint inside where that little ear is going to be.
Oh, right. Lovely.
So we will come back to that. I'll grab another brush for that. You can just see where I'm putting that second coat on. Like, you can totally see how badly this needed another coat. And I'm thinking it's still going to need a third coat.
I think you might be right.
Like, it's such a great shade, but the coverage is woof. I'll tell you that. Not the best coverage. I need to find another paint that has the same shade, but with better coverage.
Yeah, something to look into for sure.
Yes, I'm going to be on the lookout. Ooh, I got a hair in there. Okay, so that's gonna be my mission, is finding a new brand. I don't like the way this covers. It's just very watery. Consistency is weak.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. This is fairly new. I just bought this. I want to say I got
The color is perfect.
Yeah, the color is great, and I love it for like skin tones. I used it for my Santa Claus face and Mrs. Claus face, and I used it for my witch skin tones. Like, it's such a great shade, but it just doesn't cover very well, and I don't like to have streaks. So it is going to require a lot of extra coats. Yeah. So it's getting there. It's just going to require another coat.
But thankfully, it'll dry so quickly that won't be a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, but actually before I do that, I'm gonna grab another paintbrush, and I'm going to grab
And this is for the ear, right?
the ear.
The ear.
Yes. This is called Putty, and it's like a nice brown color. I'm just gonna this is a really good.
Ooh,
look at
that
how
covers
good.
well.
Yeah, look at the coverage on that.
That's beautiful.
And I really think we only really need just the one coat on that. That was really good coverage.
Is that a different brand of paint?
It is. This is actually furniture paint.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
chalk paint, but it's furniture paint.
Okay.
So I just, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go buy some furniture paint, and like, that's what I'm going to do. I got this
Yeah.
at Shops on the Ridge. That's
Perfect.
our local
Perfect.
antique shop, and they sell paints there. So I think I will grab some.
It's a place we like to go to for all sorts of things.
Oh yeah, lots of cute things there. So I think I'm going to grab some of that paint. Furniture paint is really good for painting your crafts. That's what a lot of these are. I'll grab one that's not open so you can see. This is called Fusion paint, and they come in these little tiny demo sizes, and they're usually pretty cheap. They're only a couple dollars.
But you don't need much to cover a lot of space.
And so if you want to try it out, they have a lot of furniture paints you can get in those little small bottles, and I really like them. I think they're really fun, and I like to grab a whole bunch. So I want to say those were like $6, $5-6.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you can just go and grab a whole bunch of those, and then you can test them out. But they're great, and you don't have to use very much, because one coat and you're done. So honestly, in the long run, they do save you money.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna paint this rather than buying a big jug and then having to use 3 coats.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
There we are.
Looking good.
Yep, and he's still gonna need a 3rd coat, but I'm starting to lose where my score lines were, but I can still see it in real life. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, but I'll grab it so you can still see it. But I can still see it in real life. So that way I know where to glue those, his little nose and mouth. You can still see it in real life. So just make sure that you can still see where you're going to glue that. I just really want it in that spot where I put it, because I just think it's like the best spot. It's just
perfection.
It's his little
right?
face just so
Yeah.
perfectly. He's just so cute. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna let those dry for a little bit longer.
Okay.
And I'm going to come over to his little scarf. Here we are. And I'm gonna paint this red. So I'm gonna grab another
yes.
brush.
Scarf definitely has to be red.
Oh yeah, for sure. There we are. Just feel like it's very Christmassy.
It's a very pretty red too.
This is silk paint. I'm not sure if that's the brand or if that's like, if it's another brand. I'm not sure. It just says Silk on it. It's called Fiery Sky is the name of this shade.
Ooh, good name.
It's a pretty red. I like this. And I feel like you're going to get this in one coat. Look at that.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah. And you don't have to, you're going to be gluing the other piece on top. So you don't have to paint this whole thing. There we go. So there's that. That really covered nicely in just one
It
coat.
really did.
Look at that. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come back. And I am going to dry brush this with black, I think, so that you can see the other layer kind of pop.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah. There we are.
Give it some definition.
Absolutely. There we go. And that just covered really, really nicely.
Easy peasy.
Easy
Love it.
peasy. All right, so that's it for that piece. I do want to come over here and grab his Santa hat and grab some more red.
Well, the hat has to match the scarf.
There we go. There we go.
No fashion faux pas here.
Can't have him looking dreary.
No, absolutely not.
No, we can't have that. Okay.
We need all those fun Christmas colors.
Absolutely. There we go. And I'm just gonna go over here. Just make sure I smooth it all out. I don't have too much paint in any one spot. Okay. So I'm just let this sit right here. Alrighty. So, and I have his florals, and
Oh,
I do
yes.
want to do some parts of this in red. Actually, you know what? I better not because it will blend too much into his hat. So you know what? I will do gold.
Okay.
I'll do that in gold. So I'm gonna let that, I'm gonna put my brush over here to the side, and I'm gonna get some green. Grab his florals. Okay. And I'm gonna grab some of this green. This is that fusion paint again. And it's a nice green. And I'm gonna paint his little mistletoe over here. There we are. And here's his little pine needles or mistletoe. And I want to paint these berries, I think, gold. So I'm going to leave that. There we go.
I am so sorry to be a pain, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I have the gold right here.
Oh, you already have it?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I was trying to be helpful.
You're looking for the gold, and I already have it out. Okay. So, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do this part here. I'm going to do his holly in that same shade of green, but I am going to take a darker shade, and I'm going to work my way through it so it really shows, so it pops. So there we are. So I'm going to grab, I'm just going to wipe my brush off a little bit, and I'm going to grab a darker shade of green.
Oh, that'll be nice.
And then I'm just gonna kind of work my way through and just kind of tap through here for the mistletoe.
Very realistic.
Yeah. And then kind of just brush it on here because I want that other shade to really pop. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna grab another brush, and I'm going to take that putty color from before, and I'm going to layer this on top just because I want that gold to really pop, because gold doesn't really, the gold I have is a gold glitter, and it kind of doesn't adhere very well to the MDF that I used on this. So I want to make sure it will stick to it a little better. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm just going to do that real quick. All right. And then while that's drying, I'm going to let this sit over here, and I'm going to grab some white paint for our part of our hand.
Oh, the fluffy part.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to grab our white chalk paint. And this is just Craft Smart white chalk paint. I'm just going to go over here and just brush this on.
That's going on nicely.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Grab a little bit more. Super fun.
Yeah. It's going to be so exciting to put this all together.
I can't wait to see when he's all finished.
I know.
There we go.
It's fun to see a idea come to life.
Mm-hmm. It's one thing to have it in your head, then you get it down on the computer after you draw it out, and then to see it cut on the laser, and then to see it all painted and put together. It's just so exciting to see, like, that whole process.
It really is very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. I love the process.
Yeah.
And it's just fun because we were talking on the phone today, and we're like, why not try a polar bear? We haven't done a polar bear yet. So
and here we are.
Here we are. So I got right to work and started drawing.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you. Usually I spend a lot more time on my projects, but this one was we got through this one pretty quick. I kind of had an idea in mind when I started. Yeah.
White snowflake.
White snowflake. I think I got a little bit too much white in between there, so I got to make sure I clean that all out. I don't want to get any of the paint in the holes. I usually get a dry brush to clean that out. So I just want to make sure I get that. I'll take a dry brush and clean those spaces out so I don't make a mess, because I don't want all that globs of paint inside there. So I just take a dry brush and clean that right out.
You want to be able to see that it's a snowflake.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Just want to make sure I get all that. There we go. Oops, made a mess on my finger.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna just let that dry over here, and I'm going to need some black next. Let's take a look. Oh, you know what we gotta do? His little mouth, his little nose. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use white, so it pops. That's what I'm gonna do. I want that to pop. I must have put my brush down in some white or my red paint.
That would have been a no-no.
Yeah. Okay, I think that would look really cute.
I think so too.
Yeah,
It would really
pop.
stand out.
Mm-hmm. You can really paint how you want to do this. We could even have done this in that putty color.
True. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks, and if we don't like it, we can always repaint it in that putty color.
That's true.
There we are.
It really is a blank canvas.
Yep, and you can do it however you want. It's your project. All right, there we go.
Most important thing is have fun.
That's right. Okay. I always tell the kids at school, if you had fun, you won.
Exactly.
When they're playing a game, I'm like, hey, like, does it matter who won the game? Did you have fun? They're like, yeah. Then you won.
Yeah.
If you had fun, you won. That's what I always say to the kids. Got goobers there on that brush. Nobody needs goobers.
No
Wipe that
goobers.
off. I don't like goobers on my brush. Okay, I'm just gonna add another coat while I got the white paint out. There we go.
Might as well.
Might as well. And we already know we're gonna need another coat on that body and his face, because Milk Jug doesn't like us. Okay.
But I think as bright white as you can get, the more it'll stand out and pop and look great.
Yeah, we really want that white to really pop against that Milk Jug color, because the Milk Jug is kind of like an ivory.
Right, yeah.
You know, because I feel like
true white.
Yeah, well, I feel like polar bears aren't really true white. They're kind of dirty.
Oh,
they kind of
yeah.
like little, they got like dirt on their fur. They're never like truly white.
Living out there in the wild.
Yeah, they're out there in the wild. I mean, they're never like pure white. They're kind of
Maybe the
some
babies
dirt.
are. I don't know. I've never
he's
seen
kind of a
one in
baby.
person.
But I never have either. I mean, like besides the zoo.
The zoo, yeah.
But even then, they're not clean. I mean, they're kind of dirty. But that's why I'm like, they're kind of like an ivory. Why
Yeah,
not?
works for me.
All right, we're going to grab some black paint. This is just folk art black paint. There we go. Grab his nose. And we're going to go ahead.
Nose definitely has to be black.
Yes, black nose. There we go. All right. And that covered really nice. And we're going to get his little eyes. His little happy eyes. He's a very happy guy. Very happy. I feel like I just kind of make this up as I go. Like for colors, like I have an idea in mind, but then I'm like, maybe I'll do this now. Okay.
But that's the fun part about it.
And you know what? While
Get
I have
creative.
that, while I have that black brush out, I am going to,
Oh, the scarf, yeah.
that's dry brush. I just kind of tap that brush off so it's a little bit dry, and I'm just gonna kind of dry brush those edges. Give it that fun farmhouse feel.
Yeah.
It makes it pop. You want it to pop. Get
And
those
you don't
edges.
have to see a lot of the black, just enough
No.
to like.
Just enough. And if
Yeah.
you want to use the art crayon, use the art crayon if
that
you
works
want
nicely,
to.
too.
Mm-hmm. But since we already have a black brush out, and we already
Might as well
have,
use
might as
that.
well just use that since we already have our brush out. Might as well. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and just run that right across there. Just kind of rub
I
that
just
along
really
the
love that
side.
effect.
Yeah,
It changes the whole look. It's great
it really does. There we go.
and so simple.
Very simple. Oh, you know what we gotta do the black around his hat too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. We gotta do that while we have the black out. We're gonna do that same thing again. I'm just gonna really go heavy-handed on that because I really want that black to pop. Because I want
Yeah.
that extra layer to really show. So I'm like really getting that black on those edges. Look at that.
Looks great.
Thanks. My brush is really running out of black paint, so I'm just gonna really,
So you can get in there.
really get in there. Okay, so then when I layer it on top, you can really see how that pops.
Yes, love that.
Mm-hmm. Let me move it up closer to the camera so you can see. That looks really cool.
It really does.
Yeah, very, very fun. And I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna grab a little bit more black paint.
I think you might need a touch.
You know what? I'm gonna grab, while I have the black paint out, I'm gonna make sure I get this
Okay.
over here because you are going to see these edges.
Oh yeah.
So you have to make sure that you paint this part here because this part shows, to give it a little bit of a fun like outline. And that's all you have to do. That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
And that gives it more definition too. If you can see that
Yeah.
little bit of black.
That's all there is. Okay, so while I still have some black paint on my brush, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And I'm just gonna keep going here
On the hat.
on the hat. Because I really want that black outline to show.
Yes.
There we go.
So nice.
Yeah, and like I said, you can use the art crayon, you can do the inks. It's really how you want to apply that. Or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I like it too, but
It gives that farmhouse vibe.
agreed.
Yeah, very fun. I'm gonna even put some right here too.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Absolutely. Look at that. Very fun. All right. I think this piece is pretty much done. You can see that. I'm going to put that over here. I love it. And if you want, you could even put a little bit along like his little hat.
I
Look
like
at
that idea. I like that idea a lot.
You can just kind of just brush it right along the edges. You know, just enough. Nothing crazy. Just on the edges. There we go.
What about the little poof ball at the end of his hat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. So just enough. You don't want too much because then it will start looking like he rolled around in the dirt.
And the coal he gives to the...
Yeah, maybe he got coal for Christmas.
All right.
I hope not. He's Santa Paws here. With his little claws. His little polar bear claws. We can't have him getting coal.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So there's his little poof ball.
All right.
All right. So you know what? I really like that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just do that same thing with the... Oh, that was still wet.
Keep it consistent, you mean?
Yeah, we'll add a little bit on the mistletoe. Just for fun. You know? And then when you go to put this layer on top, it's really going to pop.
Oh, for sure.
See, that's going to pop. There it goes. So there's that. And that's going to look really sharp.
It really is.
Okay, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab another brush and I'm going to add some gold glitter. This is just some, it's called Glitter Kiss.
Great name.
Yeah, I'm not sure what brand this is. It says, I can hardly read that. That's really small. I cannot read that. It's very, very tiny. But this I got at our local shops on the Ridge. And it says Sahara Gold Kiss, but I don't see the brand. But you can get any gold glitter, like glitter paints. I'm just gonna go ahead and just dip that right in there.
Pretty
it is very pretty.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna just add some gold glitter to these pretty berries. It's very pretty. Just want to make sure.
It.
Yeah, and it's got some nice coverage too. So you can use like any type of gold glitter paint and it just adds a nice little pop.
Well, and I think any sparkle is great for Christmas.
Yeah. I think it would look really nice.
Oh, it covers really well too.
Yeah.
That looks great.
That's why I wanted to add like the color underneath just so it would pop a little bit more than just leaving it with the plain MDF.
Yeah.
It just pops. There we go. And you can add another coat just if you want to add a little bit more like more dimension.
Sure.
This is pretty.
It's very pretty.
I really like the gold glitter.
Quite a lot.
This is the same gold that I used on Santa's belt.
Ooh.
And it covered really, really nicely. So, but I'm sure if you just Googled this, the color of this, you might be able to find it. I couldn't read it. It's really tiny. I need my glasses.
Oh my gosh, it is really tiny.
I know, I couldn't see it.
No,
I'm like,
good vision. No, absolutely not.
No, I couldn't see the name of the brand.
I'm sorry.
So there's that. It's very sparkly. There we go. So that's going to look really pretty. So I'm going to let that dry. Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see
either.
Nope, it's just too small for me. So I'm going to let that dry. I think I'm happy with the consistency of that glitter. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna be ready to dry brush now. I'm gonna get one of my favorite types of paint brushes for dry brushing. I like to get like a messy brush, like one that's kind of like really messy, like it's already pretty used up. I like to use these for dry brushing. I'm gonna get that ready, and I do have to give another coat on my poor little guy here. He needs another milk jug.
He needs one more jug.
He does. I'm just gonna move all this out of the way so I can paint him. He's sad.
He's thirsty. He needs some milk.
Yeah, he does. He needs his milk jug here. I'm just gonna set that back down. All right, so I'm gonna get my milk jug paintbrush. And this is another great brush for dry brushing too. Is that the right one? Oh, you know what? You're right. That was my dry brushing paintbrush. That was the putty.
Hard to see.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
No, we'll just wipe it off. Because I'm going to use that next. That's my dry brushing on there. Okay. I'm going to give him another coat. This should be the last coat now. There we go.
Oh, you can really tell when you get the last coat on.
Yeah, it's covering pretty nicely now. There we are. And that's looking pretty good.
It really
I'm
is.
just gonna move this out of the way because it's creating a shadow. There we go. I just want to make sure I don't get any paint in those eye holes.
Right.
Because you don't want that. And they won't fit in there very easily. Just be very careful. There we go.
Lovely.
I feel like we would have been done with this a long time ago if we didn't have to do 3 coats on this.
Well, we're going to have to research some new
Yes.
paint.
Definitely.
That color, just a different brand, possibly.
Yes. Okay. And I think he's pretty done. All right.
Looking good.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go over here and set him aside. I'm gonna get his little body here. And you can really see that last coat.
Oh yeah, it makes such a huge difference. It really does.
There we go. Very fun. Just make sure you work out those brush strokes so you don't leave any lines. I feel like this paint kind of leaves some brush strokes.
Well, when you have to do multiple coats, you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But you do a great job.
Thank you. So there we are. All right.
We got some white legs now.
Mm-hmm. Our polar bear is coming together.
Yeah.
He's almost finished. I am gonna dry brush over him and just kind of give him like that fun like edge like we did on the
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that'll
I
really
like to
look
just
great.
Yeah, I like to make it up as I go. You never know. When I start, I never know how it's gonna finish. It's like always a surprise.
That's the fun part about it.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put this over here to dry. And we have our last little bit. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of tap this off and add a little bit of a darker shade and just kind of mix them together a little bit.
Okay.
And just so that way it's like almost creates like a dimension.
Oh, I like that idea.
So I'm gonna do this one a hair darker. There we go. So there it is. I added this color
subtle,
called
but
Putty.
it's really gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's also covering very nicely too.
Good. We like that
There
part
we
too.
go. Kind of creates like a shadow.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Make it very realistic.
I grab a little bit more of that color, and there we are.
Awesome.
Okay, and that covered really nice.
I like that.
Getting goobers. Ugh. I need to change my paper towel out on my table.
That's how many projects you do.
I know. Well, I don't want to get my table ruined because this is an antique glass coffee table that I shouldn't be painting on.
But you're also crafting all day, every day. So, I mean, you know.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to come back, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of that dry brushing around the edges.
Perfect.
I'm going to grab that color putty that we just used. I'm going to snag some of that. I'm going to tap off because I don't want to have too much. You want to dry brush this. If it's all wet, it's not going to be dry brushing.
No.
So I'm just going to go through here and just kind of pull that in. There we go. We're just going to pull that right in. And I like to use like an old brush that's seen some things.
Been through some things.
Yeah, it's seen better days. So I'm just gonna.
But still useful.
Yes, these are the kind of brushes you want to hang on to because they're great for dry brushing. So I'm just gonna do that right there, and it created that nice effect.
Love it.
And then I'm gonna come back and grab his little nose, and there's his nose. There's his little nose. There we go.
Excited.
There we are. Okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing with that color again because I want it to pop. So I'm gonna grab that that shade putty, and it's just like almost like a taupe color.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I'm gonna do that same thing again. So I'm gonna just set it down. I'm gonna work my way in.
And it's nice because it's just a shade different, but it really makes a difference.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, paint over it.
Right.
And if you want to like create like little beads, kind of pull it up towards you. There we go.
Oh, it makes such a huge difference. I really like this effect.
Yeah, and it's just gonna. And then if you want, like, you can pull it towards you more.
And kind of
like
gives
that.
the illusion of like hair too.
Yeah.
That would be on a polar bear.
Yeah. So you're just gonna keep pulling that towards you, like towards the middle. There we go.
Yeah, great effect.
Yeah. And it kind of like creates like his arms or his legs are like rounded.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of creates like that 3D effect. And you can see when you don't go in the right direction, it kind of it works in a different direction. So look at that. So I just kind of worked my way in the other direction, and you can see it like creates a whole different effect, a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
So there's his little feet. There we are. And I wanted that to look like that. I'm going to add a little bit more here. Like, I'm really adding a lot because I really want that to really pop. So
I
I'm
think
going
it's going to. I think it's
yeah.
going to be great.
So I'm going to keep dragging that in. I'm going to keep dragging it. I'm going to go all the way across now. There we go. And I'm just going to drag it all the way across. There we go. He's kind of a dirty polar bear. Like I said, I really wanted to go with more like this kind of shade.
It's authentic. I like it.
And if you don't like it, what you can do is just grab your brush that you used for the if you don't like it for the milk jug, and just go right
Score
across.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go like this, and you can just
Problem solved.
drag it across like this, like kind of like an X pattern. And you're like, I don't think I like that. Just go like this, like I don't like that. And kind of just drag it, and it just takes it right back off.
Awesome.
See? Like, I used a little bit too much. There we go. Easy peasy.
Love easy peasy.
All right, let's do his face. We're gonna do the same thing again. Might need a little bit more of that. Tap
Tiny bit
off.
more.
And we're gonna do the same thing again. And it's really gonna make his face pop. little bit more. Always make sure you tap off because you don't want to go right in with all that paint on your brush. Otherwise, you might have a mess.
It'll be too much, yeah.
And if you feel like you added too much, like I said, go back with your brush with the other color and just take it back off.
It's a problem you can solve.
Just keep working that. Grab a little bit in his ear.
Definition, yeah.
Because that's the same color we used in his ear before. There we go. And then if you want, you can drag it across. Just drag it across.
Perfect.
All right, and when you get the desired effect you like, then you know you're done. Oops, there's a little bit of black paint there on my paper towel, but that's okay because you can just take your milk jug.
Don't ever give up because it's all fixable.
There you go. Milk jug paint, all fixed. All right, I'll let that dry. All right, I think we are ready to start putting things together. You know what I might do? I might take a little bit of that milk jug. And I might just take a little bit and just sprinkle like it's snow.
Oh, I like that.
And just kind of sprinkle a little bit on his holly.
Oh, that's great.
You know what we got to do? I'm missing his... Oh, no, I'm not missing. I didn't do holly leaves or holly berries. I did a snowflake this time. You know what I want to do, though? I think his snowflake might be too much white, so I could take some of the black and just kind of outline it in black. For some reason, I was thinking I did holly leaves on his, but I did a snowflake this time.
Oh, I
there
like
we
that
go.
a lot.
Yeah, that looks really cool. All right. Okay, I think he's just about done. So let's grab the back piece.
Start at the beginning to assemble.
I'm just gonna move all these brushes out of the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with the very back piece. There we are. And then we have this piece here that goes right over the top. Make sure you line them all up perfectly. There we go. There's his little feet. And you can actually see that nice differentiation there between those. I like that a lot.
Good decisions were made.
Thanks. And then we have his little head. Make sure everything's all lined up. There we go. There's his little head.
Love.
I love that. I'm going to grab his scarf.
Excited about the scarf.
You can even use scrapbook paper on his scarf if you wanted to.
Ooh, that would have been fun, yeah.
Yeah, there's his little scarf.
Tons of options.
Yeah. And then we'll grab his eyes. Grab his eyes. And they just fit right inside. As long as you don't get any paint inside the eye holes.
Of course.
There we go. And there's his other eye. And we'll get his
hat.
Love. And we're gonna get this piece here.
So cute.
There we go. Gotta line it all up. There we go. And that just fits right there. And then we have his little poof. His poof. And then we have his little nose. And you're gonna look for those score lines. I can see them right here. There we are. His little nose.
So adorable.
Oh my gosh, I love his little nose. And then we have his little florals, which are optional. If you don't want to add the florals, you don't have to. You can just add those however you want to put them on. Oh, I love him. And then we have his little holly sprig there. And if you wanted to add a little bit of glitter, yeah, you can add a little glitter to a snowflake if you wanted.
Ooh,
and that's
glitter
it.
A snowflake would be kind of cute.
And he is all finished.
And he is adorable.
I love him. He is probably one of my favorites. And if you wanted to, you have this extra piece you can put in his little ear. But I kind of like it with it, like just with the little hole, and then you can see the paint through on the other layer.
I agree. Yeah.
So that's all there is. If we didn't have to do so many coats on him, he would be done a lot faster. But he's pretty easy to make. I really, really like him.
I
Got a
like
little
him
hair on here.
too.
Yeah, he's really fun. He was so much fun to make. And I hope you guys like him. He was a lot of fun. And I hope you like him as much as we like him.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.